Central Time.
Central Time Zone we go as Teddy Bridgewater did tweak an ankle. Before he did, boy, he made a lot of people in the Twin Cities very happy about their selection of him at the end of the first round of the NFL draft and wondering, why didn't he start to begin with? Michael Knight joins us. Used to drive the Knight Rider. Now he hosts the Michael Knight Show on Sports Radio 105, The Ticket in the Twin Cities. At Mike Talks Big is the Twitter handle. Give me your personal assessment of how Teddy played.
You know, I think he played well. I think there were a couple of superstars in the Twin Cities over the weekend, and I think they were both the offensive coordinators for the Vikings and for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Norv Turner had Teddy Bridgewater, and remember, Scott Turner's down there on the sideline working with Teddy. And, Doug, they executed an almost perfect game plan. They started out early with what I would call kind of extended handoffs, those kind of short pass plays, and then the yards after catch. Unbelievable. Jarius right there, 61 yards to start the game, and they just build on it.
What about this text message that apparently Adrian Peterson sent to the team?
Yeah, I don't know exactly how the team has responded to it. I know for a fact that Jerick McKinnon has had good, consistent communication with Adrian Peterson. He looks up to him. And remember this, a lot of guys in the league are still confused about why Adrian Peterson has been suspended. There have been a couple of incidents in the locker room where players have spoken out and said they weren't really on board with the suspension. And I think there's still, in today's world, I think there's going to be that kind of communication. And remember, with somebody like a Jerick McKinnon, he's a young guy. He wants to get all the advice he can from a seasoned pro like Adrian Peterson.
So let me just keep you with Peterson, because I'm actually a little bit in that same camp. I don't get it. He hasn't gone to trial for the crime. There is a certain due process, even though he admitted to disciplining his child. There's also a difference between what he has done and what others have been accused of or found guilty of. What do you think the likelihood is Adrian Peterson ever returns to the Vikings? I
don't think he does, Doug. And it's this year more than anything, I think it's defined the society, the world that we live in now. I mean, it's no longer does the punishment fit the crime. It's does the punishment fit the social media outrage. And that's what you got to deal with. When there's money involved and you're a professional, a $1 billion sports franchise, it's what the fans want, and there's incredible outrage here. And the Vikings, on their behalf yesterday, ran 3 slides during the game for the Minnesota Domestic Abuse Hotline, and there was a lot of ho-humming and a lot of eye-rolling and those kind of things. People they're not really defending Adrian Peterson here, and I would be surprised if he ever wears purple again.
How bad's Teddy Bridgewater's sprained ankle?
He negative on the X-ray, negative on the MRI. What we've heard on this end, between now and the time that they show up on Green Bay on Thursday, he's going to be sleeping in the training room. And for folks that don't know how that works, they literally keep you in the training room. They do the electric stim and, all the technology we've got today. Sure. They'll be working on that ankle all the way up to game time. Playing
with 2 gloves in his hands, but the weather's still really nice right now in Minnesota. Is it fair to say that the knocks against Teddy were the small hands, the slight frame, how he would play over a rugged 16-game schedule, and how he would play in bad weather? And we still haven't seen that, and probably won't see that even with the Green Bay game.
No, I mean, I'm completely with you. I mean, I am getting, Doug, the hype for Teddy Bridgewater, I've never seen anything like it. I mean, he is a superstar here. And Sunday at Viking Stadium, the chants for Teddy were, I haven't seen anything like that in this market since I've been here in over 20 years. And I've, on my own radio show, have said this, let's not bet the farm on this thing yet. We don't know exactly what's going to happen, but Vikings fans have been starving for such a long time to get a franchise quarterback. They just want it. They want to wish it to happen.
He's not Tom Kelly, but Ron Gardenhire is an institution. Could never get past the Yankees in the playoffs, but they did have a run until these last couple of years. Did have several runs to the playoffs. What's going to be the lasting legacy of the Gardenhire era? 13 years as skipper of the Minnesota Twins. He was fired today.
It's not anything that's like you can really put a finger on and say he's super memorable for. I mean, he carried on the Tom Kelly legacy, I think.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people here. It's weird. When you go to the phones here and take phone calls from people, you'll get a 50-50 split of people that are defending the general manager, Terry Ryan, and people that are defending Ron Gardenhire. My take on it, and as I'm not originally from Minnesota, which I think gives me some perspective here, is they need to clean house. I'm listening to the interview right now as I'm talking to you, the press conference, and who invites the fired general manager to the press conference? Ron Gardenhire is talking at the press conference right now, and it's coming across as very bosom buddy-ish. It's a little bizarre.
Yeah, it's Minnesota. It's Minnesota, Derry. It's very... Sorry, that was Fargo. Anyway, Michael Knight, host of the Michael Knight Show on Sports Radio 105 The Ticket in the Twin Cities. Michael, thanks so much for joining us, and let me know when I can take the Night Rider out for a spin.
For sure, brother. Thanks.